Welcome back to the Deep Dive. I'm always on the lookout for the latest trends and insights that can help us stay ahead of the curve. And you sent over this course description all about thriving in the AI era. And, well, honestly, I was instantly hooked.
Yeah, it's really fascinating stuff.
This isn't just like another online course. It's like a roadmap to success in a world where AI is changing everything.
And it seems like it's changing everything faster and faster these days.
Exactly. So let's dive in and, extract those golden nuggets of wisdom about the skills you need to truly shine as AI becomes more and more intertwined with, well, pretty much everything we do.
I think one of the things that struck me right away was the course's emphasis on not just surviving, but actually thriving.
Yeah.
It's not about competing with AI. It's about understanding that AI is a tool.
Right.
A powerful one, sure, but ultimately a tool.
Like a hammer or a screwdriver.
Exactly. And it's the uniquely human skills that are going to make us indispensable in this evolving landscape.
It's not about becoming a robot ourselves.
Right.
It's about what we bring to the table that AI can't replicate.
Totally.
And the course lays out 5 key skills that we're going to unpack today.
Okay, cool.
First up is leadership and management.
All right.
Which feels especially relevant because there's so much talk about AI automating jobs, including leadership roles.
Yeah, you see those articles all the time.
Yeah, a robot's going to be our bosses now?
Well, the course actually argues that strong leadership is even more crucial in the AI era.
That's interesting.
Think about it. AI might be able to analyze data and optimize schedules,
Sure.
but it's human leaders who can inspire, motivate, and guide their teams through these periods of rapid change.
Yeah.
Plus, you need someone who can integrate AI effectively into workflows without losing sight of the human element.
It's about striking that balance.
I think so, yeah.
And the course dives into a specific aspect of leadership that I found really interesting: project management.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like a skill that translates across all sorts of roles, not just traditional leadership positions.
Absolutely. Project management is essentially about turning an idea into reality.
Right.
And that requires leadership at every stage.
Okay.
Whether it's setting goals, planning, coordinating, or navigating those inevitable curveballs that come up along the way.
Right, yeah.
Honing those project management muscles can boost your leadership abilities.
I can see that. It makes me think about how even planning a family vacation involves project management skills. Setting the budget, choosing the destination, booking flights, coordinating everyone's schedules. Maybe we're all project managers in some way.
Maybe we...
Whether we realize it or not.
That's a great point. And by practicing those skills in our everyday lives,
Yeah.
we're actually building up that leadership capacity that's going to be so valuable in the workplace as AI takes on more of those routine process-driven tasks.
Okay, so we've got leadership and management covered.
Yeah.
The special shout out to project management.
Right.
What's next on the list of skills that will help us rock the AI era?
So the next skill is creativity and innovation, which at first glance might seem a little counterintuitive.
Yeah, how so?
Well, we often think of AI as the super innovative force, right?
Right.
But the course draws a crucial distinction here.
It's like AI is incredible at logic, at following instructions, at spotting patterns in data, and using them to generate solutions.
Right.
But true out-of-the-box creativity, that spark of something completely new, it's still a human superpower.
Exactly. AI can process information and optimize existing processes, but true innovation often requires us to break free from those existing paradigms and imagine something completely new.
Okay.
The course highlights brainstorming as a key skill to develop, but not just any kind of brainstorming.
Interesting.
We need to go beyond the traditional let's all shout out ideas approach.
Yeah.
And think about how AI can actually enhance our creative processes.
That's fascinating. So it's not about ditching brainstorming altogether. It's about adapting it for the AI age.
That's the idea.
Are there specific brainstorming techniques that work especially well in this context?
The course suggests exploring techniques like reverse brainstorming, where you start with the problem and then work backward thinking about all the ways you could potentially make the problem worse.
Okay.
This can actually lead to some surprising and innovative solutions by shaking up our usual way of thinking.
It's such an interesting approach. It reminds me of the saying, if you want to solve a problem, give it to a lazy person, they'll find the easiest way to do it. Sometimes looking at things from a completely different angle can lead to those breakthrough moments.
Exactly. And there are even tools that can help with AI-assisted ideation.
Really?
Yeah, you can use AI to analyze trends, generate alternative perspectives, or even come up with variations on existing ideas.
Wow.
It's like having a super-powered brainstorming partner who can help you push your creative boundaries.
That's so cool. So skill number 2,
Mm-hmm.
creativity and innovation, with a focus on mastering AI-powered brainstorming techniques.
Right.
I'm already feeling more confident about my ability to stay ahead of the curve. Okay, what's the next essential skill on our list?
The third skill the course emphasizes is critical thinking and problem solving.
Okay.
Now, this is where things get really interesting because while AI can analyze massive amounts of data and even suggest potential solutions,
Yeah.
it's still up to us humans to interpret that data, see the bigger picture, and make those judgment calls.
It's like having a super smart research assistant, right?
Mm-hmm.
AI can give you all the information in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but it can't tell you what it all means or what the best course of action is.
Right.
That's where our critical thinking skills come into play.
Precisely. And the course provides a really insightful way to hone those skills.
Okay, how?
It's all about moving beyond surface level analysis and really digging into the complexities of a situation.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's their secret weapon for developing this deeper level of critical thinking?
Case analysis.
Oh, interesting.
They suggest really immersing yourself in real-world scenarios.
Okay.
Whether it's studying historical business decisions, analyzing current events, or even working through hypothetical dilemmas.
So it's not just about memorizing facts or theories. It's about applying critical thinking in a way that feels relevant and engaging.
Exactly. The course argues that by engaging with complex cases, we train our minds to identify the root causes of problems, to consider multiple perspectives, and to anticipate potential consequences before making a decision.
That reminds me of a time when I was working on a product launch at my last company. We had all the data, market research, competitor analysis, customer surveys.
Yeah.
But the data was telling us different stories depending on how you sliced it.
Yeah, I've been there.
It was through really digging into a specific case study of a similar product launch, analyzing what went right, what went wrong, and how different decisions played out, that we were finally able to make a clear, informed decision.
And that's the beauty of case analysis. It's not just about finding the right answer. It's about developing that mental agility to navigate complex situations. Even when the data is ambiguous or contradictory, which, let's face it, is going to become even more common as AI feeds us more and more information to process.
It's like AI can be the ultimate fact checker, but we need to be the ultimate decision makers. Okay, so we've covered leadership and management, creativity and innovation, and critical thinking and problem solving.
Right.
3 down 2 to go. What's the next skill on our list?
The next skill is all about our human connection, emotional intelligence, and the social skills.
Okay.
This one is particularly interesting because as AI takes on more tasks, those uniquely human qualities of empathy, communication, and relationship building become even more valuable.
Makes sense in a world where we might be interacting with machines more often.
Right.
The ability to connect with other humans on an emotional level, to understand their perspectives and build trust, becomes a superpower.
Exactly. And the course really zeroes in on one specific skill that can significantly boost your emotional intelligence.
Which is?
Active listening.
Now, we've all heard about active listening.
Right.
But it seems like it's one of those things that's easier said than done.
For sure.
Especially in our constantly connected, always-on world. So how do we actually become better active listeners?
Well, it starts with being truly present in the moment, putting down the phone, silencing the notifications, making eye contact, and giving the other person your full, undivided attention.
It's funny because in some ways, it's about unlearning some of the habits we've developed in this digital age, right? Like resisting the urge to multitask, to constantly check our devices, to formulate our response while the other person is still talking.
It's about shifting our focus from me to we. From what am I going to say next to what is this person truly trying to communicate, both verbally and non-verbally.
It makes you think about how much communication happens beyond the words themselves.
Oh, yeah.
The tone of voice, the facial expressions, the body language, all of that adds layers of meaning that AI might miss, at least for now.
Exactly. AI can analyze speech patterns and facial expressions to some extent. But true active listening goes deeper than that. It's about picking up on those subtle nuances, sensing the emotions behind the words, and responding in a way that demonstrates empathy and understanding.
So it's almost like being a detective. right?
Yeah.
Trying to piece together all those clues to understand not just what someone is saying, but what they really mean. And I imagine asking clarifying questions is a big part of that.
Absolutely. Asking questions shows that you're engaged, that you're genuinely trying to understand their perspective. It also helps to avoid misunderstandings, which can be so common, especially in a fast-paced world where we're often rushing to get to the next thing.
So be present. Pay attention to all the cues, ask clarifying questions, and resist the urge to interrupt with our own thoughts and opinions before the other person has had a chance to fully express themselves. Those are some great actionable takeaways for becoming a better active listener.
Okay, we've covered 4 essential skills so far. What's the final skill we need to master to thrive in the AI era?
The 5th and final skill is all about embracing change, adaptability, and learning ability.
This one is crucial because the AI landscape is evolving at an incredible pace. What we know today might be outdated tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
So being able to learn new things quickly, to adjust to new situations, and to be comfortable with uncertainty, those are the skills that will truly set you apart.
It's almost like being a surfer, right?
Yeah.
Riding the waves of change instead of getting wiped out by them.
That's a great analogy, and the course offers a really powerful framework for developing that surfer mentality.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's their secret for becoming more adaptable?
Reflection and experience analysis.
Okay.
Taking the time to look back on your experiences, both personal and professional, and asking yourself, what went well? What were the challenges? What did I learn?
It sounds a lot like journaling, which I've always struggled with. Is that what they're getting at?
It's similar to journaling, but it can be more structured and focused on specific goals. Think about setting aside some time each week to reflect on a particular project interaction or experience. What were your initial expectations? How did things actually play out? What surprised you? What did you learn about yourself, about others, about the situation itself?
I can see how that could be really powerful. It's not just about dwelling on the past. It's about extracting those valuable lessons that can inform our future decisions and actions.
Exactly. And it's not just about celebrating successes. It's also about honestly analyzing those moments where things didn't go as planned.
Okay.
What could you have done differently? What assumptions did you make that turned out to be incorrect? What blind spots do you need to address?
I imagine it's also helpful to identify your strengths and weaknesses. What are you naturally good at? What areas could you use some improvement in?
Absolutely. It's about getting to know yourself better, your skills, your tendencies, your patterns of behavior, so that you can leverage your strengths and work on those areas where you might need to develop.
This reminds me of a time when I completely bombed a presentation, like full-on flop sweat, stammering the whole 9 yards. I was so embarrassed and discouraged. But later, when I really took the time to reflect on what happened, I realized that I'd made a lot of assumptions about the audience's knowledge base and hadn't tailored the content accordingly. It was a tough lesson to learn, but it forced me to become more adaptable in how I approach presentations. To really think about the audience and their needs.
And that's a perfect example of how even those moments that we might initially perceive as failures can be incredibly valuable learning opportunities. It's not about beating ourselves up. It's about extracting those nuggets of wisdom and using them to inform our future choices.
So reflect, analyze, identify strengths and weaknesses, and then create an action plan for improvement. That's a powerful framework for continuous growth, especially in a world that's constantly throwing new challenges our way. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, unpacking those 5 key skills for thriving in the AI era: leadership and management, creativity and innovation, critical thinking and problem solving, emotional intelligence and social skills, and of course, adaptability and learning ability. But what does this all mean for our listeners? What's the big takeaway?
I think the biggest takeaway is that we have agency. We have the power to shape our own futures, even in a world where AI is rapidly transforming the workplace. By focusing on developing these uniquely human skills, we make ourselves indispensable no matter what field we're in or what the future holds.
It's almost like AI is giving us a nudge to become even more human, right?
Yeah.
To focus on those qualities that make us unique and valuable. Those things that AI, at least for now, can't replicate.
Precisely, and I think that's incredibly exciting. Instead of fearing AI, we can embrace it as a tool that can augment our abilities, free us from mundane tasks, and allow us to focus on those higher-level skills that make us truly human.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
It's not about humans versus machines.
Right.
It's about humans and machines working together to create something even greater than either could achieve alone. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the skills you need to thrive in the AI era, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question to ponder.
Okay, sounds good.
Considering these 5 key skills, which one resonates most with you right now? And what's one small step you could take this week to start developing it?
That's a great challenge. Remember, even small steps taken consistently can lead to significant growth over time. So pick one skill that feels particularly relevant to your current goals and take that first step. Read an article, take an online course, have a conversation with someone who excels in that area.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment and have fun with it. The journey of lifelong learning is an adventure, and who knows what amazing discoveries you'll make along the way. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.